And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is Tuesday. Happy November to everybody out there. Presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Yours truly alongside CJ Garton here on the Backstage Pass live on the YouTube channel and at the sportsguyspodcast.com. You can always catch all the sports and music interviews there. And pleased to welcome in a guy that is bringing back that traditional country. That makes two of them here on the screen, no doubt about it. But our featured guest of the day is Nashville recording artist William Michael Morgan to the show. What's up, brother?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I didn't think we were going to get this show started. We were having such a good time.
We're talking backstage and doing all that kind of stuff like that, having a good time with old conversations and good reunions. Hey, tell me about this. You're staying busy, no doubt about it. But, man, congratulations on all the success with vinyl over the past few years. Man, gold certified. I met a girl. You've been at this thing, man, since you were 19. Just tell people, I guess, is there the keys to success? If you could list them in order, man. What is it about traditional country music that really it fits your bill, doesn't it?
Well, man, I'll tell you, traditional country music always hit home for me. I mean, I'm from Vicksburg, Mississippi, born and raised, and so there's a lot of blues influence, a lot of R&B, a lot of soul, but a lot of country. I mean, I guess it all comes from blues, anyways. But we all stole it from somebody. But something that I've always loved about traditional country music is the lyric, the melody, the meaning, the message. Something that's not necessarily lost today, but not really hit on as much, you know. Today it seems like we're having a party all the time, and trust me, if anybody likes to party, it's this old boy right here. But we also understand that we're going through hard times. We're losing our grandparents. We're having to pay bills. We're somebody may be taking the family phone, the bank, or whatever. You know, we're all going through shit that I could say that. I hope we're all going through stuff that. Sorry, Mom. I know she's probably watching, that impacts us, you know? So that's what I loved about traditional country music was it hit on the real life stuff, you know?
No doubt.
Yeah, it's music, brother. It's every piece of that red, white, and blue, where we live and breathe, from the soldiers to the coal miners to the working man out there. That's what country was. And, you know, I always say it's just blues with a little bit of twang, because, you know, that's where it comes from. And it comes from that heart and soul, that old Muddy Waters back in those 40s, and stuff was happening. You know, when Johnny Cash and them all came around, you know, they came from that rockabilly and that old classic, you know, mix between music was being invented. So when you speak about, you know, songs and lyrics, you know, I've met a lot of famous songwriters that have never really sang a lot of music, but I've never met a famous singer who don't have a great song to sing.
That's so true. And it all starts with a song, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. It sure does.
Song, and it starts with the songwriter, the creative people. And
I mean, yeah, look at Bob Dylan. I don't believe that man can sing to save his butt, but he can sure write a song.
He write a song, and he can make you believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the kicker. You know, whenever you get up on stage, and you know how it is. I mean, I kept up with what you're doing your younger years. Whenever you was getting some press back home and stuff, and social media became a thing to where it helped really, you know,
people. Thing.
Yeah, but it helped people like yourself and that generation of what you guys are doing, and to be the next generation of country artists and people who really love that old classic country music and the songs that say something. So for me, you know, I want to thank you first and foremost for continuing what you're doing, man, and putting words out there that mean something.
Well, it takes us all. I mean, we're not the only one waving the flag. There's you. I mean, there's people out there mainstream as well that are waving the flag. It's just maybe a little more muddied up, but and they're sharing that message. You know, I'll tell you, man, the biggest thing that I do at my shows is, and I know it might not be politically correct these days, but I take a moment and I single out and say thank you to the first responders, which shouldn't just seem so easy to think of, but a lot of people don't thank them. You know, the first responders, our police department, our fire departments, our EMTs, all of it, man. Our soldiers. You know, if it wasn't for people like that, we would not be having those shows. We would not be having those good times, those parties. Hell, we wouldn't even be on this deal right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we wouldn't have the chance to live. Brandon knows that, just like any of us. That's why his backdrop's red, white, and blue.
Amen.
Yeah, that's part of it. Hey, I
Yes,
wanted to ask
sir.
you about you guys. Like I mentioned, the gold certified. I met a girl, but man, and CJ talks a lot about that too. William, on the record, working with a lot of people, yourself included, just great songwriters and coming up with these great tunes that people can resonate with, almost like that '90s country feel. When you guys put out a great selection of songs on that record, I mean, great 11 songs there. I mean, Vinyl, the title track, Missing, I Met a Girl, Beer Drinker. These were all songs that, man, rose you to the top, no doubt about it. But I know that the fans are the key thing. But talk about just working with a great team behind the scenes on a record like Vinyl.
Well, like I said, man, and I'm going to say this maybe a lot. It all starts with the song. It all starts with the songwriter. I've been writing songs since I've been here and before. I mean, I was 15 years old or so coming back and forth to town. I moved here permanently when I was 19. So it's been almost 11 years now that I've lived here. But the songwriters, it's the songwriters. I mean, we can write songs all day long as an artist, and some of them may be good, some of them suck. I mean, most of them suck, let's be honest, but some of them are pretty good. But man, that's what these people do. That is what they wake up doing. They write songs. They don't try to do this, they don't try to do that. They write songs, and they're pretty damn good at it. And they've gotten the shaft today a lot, between getting paid, between just a lot of songwriters now ain't even getting cuts because the artists are writing them.
Well, that's a crazy thing, man. I mean, that's one thing I'm gonna be very transparent about. That's why I started my own record label. That's why I broke off the majors, because I knew what I had to say was more valuable. I mean, there's more than one way to be a preacher, and I think it's our job to sing songs. I was born with a gift to write. Writing's always been easy. I never played like it was hard. I had to learn, how to pick up a guitar and play it. I had to learn how to step on stage and sing and stuff. And those type of things that we all, we have to find our path. But, when God gives a man a talent, I think it's his job to succeed, to do it, as long as he has the perseverance and intellect to be able to accomplish it, and surrounds himself around good people. So I definitely appreciate what you're saying to the songwriter, because that's been around for years and years to come. It's going to continue to do so, because honestly, between me, you, and everybody else that's out there listening, people are tired of being fed. They don't want to eat. They're just tired of being fed what they're told you're going to have. It's not McDonald's. It's not an algorithm. It's emotion. It's human nature. And what we need to do is we need to make songs that make a change, that make a difference. You're talking about the veterans. I got a song called The Gun. I released it. The real Forrest Gump is Samuel Davis. He calls it his song. So when Forrest Gump says it's his song, I'm going to tell him, okay, it's your song. Waylon Jennings' grandson, cut it on the album. But those are the type of things that really reach people to thinking about what they're listening to. They want something more than just noise. And, I'm glad to see that you're out there doing it. I'm glad to see that you fought for what you believe in, because I know you jumped different labels. I remember back, I don't know if it was a CMA Awards, what was kicking at the Doghouse back when you first signed your deals and stuff. And so it's funny because, people always say this is an overnight success, but it's the longest overnight success I've ever seen.
Well, that's the thing. Once the success does happen, it is almost overnight. It is almost immediate.
It is.
But they don't look at the 10, 15, sometimes more, sometimes less, but sometimes more years that people have put into this. Waking up, hoping, praying, taking out on their house, taking out on selling their car to buy a little old beater just so they can make it work, so they can chase a dream. This ain't no different than any other dream. And let me tell you, it ain't no different than any other business either.
But it's damn sure harder, though, because with the guarantee going to college and getting a degree, or if you're a professional athlete, your head is
these days.
You can go and get a degree to go do something, and you know what your job is. You know what your task is.
And there's a comfortability, a security in that, of course.
There is. And that's why people choose that 9 to 5 sometimes. But dreamers like us, we kind of go off the cuff, and there is no guarantee. There is no. Yeah. And so you're really betting on faith and hope that people see what you're doing and believe in you.
You're right, buddy. That is 100% the truth.
I wanted to ask you about this because a lot of the great artists come on the program like yourself too step in that center circle. the Grand Ole Opry, William, and I know you've done it definitely more than one occasion. Never take it for granted, I'm sure, but what's that moment like every time you get a chance to play the Opry?
I've played the Opry, I think, either 72 or 73 times. I always like to give myself one more, so I think I'm up to 72. But it's the same feeling every time. It's not nervousness, but butterflies. That anxiousness of, my God, all these people have played here. I never take that stage for granted. I always soak up every, not just minute, but every second, from walking in the door to saying hello to the people at the door, to walking out, meeting with the players, meeting with some of the staff, meeting with some of the people that are what do you call ushers, that are ushering the people in. I love every one of them. They're great people. They're good old boys. They're good old girls. They're good people. They got your back. I mean, when people do say it's a family, in that aspect of it, it is a family. Now, in some aspects, it's not, but in that aspect of it, it's a family. They've always had my back at the Opry. I wish that I could play there all the time if they'd let me. They'd have to kick me out. I'd want to play there so much. I just love it.
Yeah,
I'm from Mississippi. That's what we. You thought you made it when you made it to the Opry, and boy, it's no different every time. It's amazing.
Yeah, people like Jeannie Seely who's still living, and
Ron Conley,
yeah, and Connie Smith, and even before little Jimmy Dixon's passed, they got to do that every weekend. That was an amazing thing for them, and I remember the first time I really got to hang out with my grandparents met him. He came to their bus back in the day in the 70s, and was asking for some whiskey, and my grandpa sent him off with a bottle of Crown, and they sit and laughed and cut up. And I ended up getting to meet him years later when I moved here, and he had two older, beautiful women next to him, and a tiny, thin little cigar in his mouth, and drinking.
Kind of like this little guy, huh?
Yeah, thinner than that. I don't know what the hell he was smoking, but it was. Yeah, he was having a ball, but it was awesome because you can feel the Opry even going through the back door. I mean, as soon as you walk in that back entrance, you take your picture before you go in. It's amazing. Yeah, but how many? So you mentioned how many times you played the Opry. How many times you actually played the Ryman stage though, the original Opry?
So that is a combination of the Ryman and the Opry.
Is it?
Yeah, I would say I've played I don't know. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. I'd like to say pretty mutual, pretty even, but maybe leaning more towards the Ryman.
Really?
Because we did a lot of country classics too, which is the Opry, but it's the country classics where, Larry Gatlin, Jenny Seely would come on and do their classics. But of course, people like myself would come on and sing some classics, as opposed to some of my songs. I would do a Haggard or a George Jones or insert name. It was always hard for me because I always wanted to do something, and it seemed like the person was going to be on that night, maybe, that I wanted to do the song. So I was always like, yo, come on.
Well, you only
right there.
Hard part is you only get two. You only get two songs when you go in there, and that
yeah.
It's like you're as a musician. For
it's
myself,
like you got to wrap your whole life into two songs. You got to represent yourself in two songs.
Warm up, your first couple of songs, you're just getting warmed up, and there they put you out on the spot, and that's it. The Martha White Flower Hour and the whole nine.
Yeah,
for years it's been going. That's cool.
Well, I wanted to ask you about this too, because last Friday y'all put out a little Christmas music there for everybody out there for the holidays. Look at that! I love that. Look at that.
Well,
I love the view behind you too. By the way,
trying to find my dog there. She's running off now.
I was showing me a rocking horse. I think that's cool, man.
That's cool. I like that too.
You can ride away, I guess.
Hey, tell me about this holiday song you guys put out last Friday, Home at Christmas. This is always fun to kind of get people together and this is the time of year. I mean, Thanksgiving's only a couple of weeks, 3 weeks away, and then you got people going home for the holidays looking for some festive music out there to kind of get wrap their minds around and just play something on the stereo. How did you guys come up with the concept, and how much fun was it to work on Home at Christmas?
I wrote that song with a couple of good buddies of mine from Texas, and I'm just trying to remember, man. I mean, we were all talking about what it felt like to go back home for Christmas and how sometimes we don't get to spend as much time with them as we would like. You know, sometimes it's just a couple of days and then we're right back up to Nashville. I personally try to always just cut out, you know, at like 2 weeks and go home. You know, that's pretty much what I've always done since I've lived here. I really don't care if something's going on. It's not important to me. I'm going to go home. So, but we all were pretty much on the same page as far as what it felt like to have to rush, not get to spend as much time with your family during the holidays or just in general. And so we wrote that thing as a little combination of stuff that we did with my family for Christmas that and that they did with their families for Christmas growing up, or that they do now with their kids and wives and whatnot. So.
Well, it's good stuff, no doubt. Hey, tell me what's next. I know you guys are working on a lot of cool stuff. I know you mentioned you guys are looking for the label now too, and definitely doing things on the independent side of it, which I know is you guys have talked about beginning of the show is a lot tougher when you have to, you know, put it all out there and do the put the cards out there and see which ones that you draw and see hopefully they're the best and make those big hits out there. The push to radio, the new music, a lot of things coming up here in 2023. Kind of tell the audience kind of what you can about where you're going forward now.
Yeah, so off the record, we're working on a couple of things that will hopefully allow us to get back into the radio world again with some new singles. We've been releasing singles since we've been off of Warner Brothers for the past couple of few years now. And it's all been in the streaming world, and it's gotten us some good attention, but we're ready to make that step. We've been writing, you know, during COVID, however you feel about it. We didn't get to play any shows, so we just wrote a lot. And so I've got a new producer, Keith Stegall. We've been in the studio. We've got about 6 songs done. I don't know why I say about. We do have 6 songs done, and we're hoping to go back in with a new avenue and explore a full album with those 6. Go back in, cut some more, and release a single, you know, to radio again, to terrestrial radio.
Tell me about one off the last record and kind of the backstory of this one. I loved it a lot too. And for you guys, it had a lot of good spins and definitely play out there. Cheap Cologne was one of my favorites out there off the record vinyl. How did this one come about?
Cheap Cologne was a song written by a really good friend of mine, Kevin Denny. Kevin Denny's a fantastic songwriter and a fantastic singer. If there ever was one. I mean, I always said he was the damn near the reincarnation of Keith Whitley. I mean, he just sings so beautifully and so raw and natural. But he sent me that song, man, and of course, I grew up listening to all that stuff, man. So I was like, every album needs a good cheating song. I said, we're gonna cut an album. We gotta have a cheating song. I said, you know, and so that was our cheating song. I thought it was written brilliantly. It's you know, it's sometimes as a guy singer, we like to down ourselves and say that we're the ones doing it, but this was a little twist, and it was actually the gal doing it, not the artist, you know, and you know, it was it's a cool song. We still play it live every show, you know.
Yeah, I like the song. Kevin's a sweetheart of a person. He's been good to me. We've been good buddies for a long time too. And like I said, Joe Spivey plays with him. Organic Country over at the local. So if anybody wants,
they were at the Scoreboard for a while. I think they scooted.
Well, you know, I guess there was a changing of the guard over there after Mr. Hobbs took over, and it's just that market. After you do something for so long, and whether it be you, me, or anybody else, Brandon, things become stagnant at a certain point. And the local had a wonderful spot that's invited everybody in. Those folks over there have been really inviting, and it's honestly, it just gives an opportunity. If you can play old school country music in Nashville, you're doing something different nowadays.
Jeff owns the local. He's a fantastic guy. I would say he's a
writer. He's a songwriter, so he
is. And during all the COVID stuff too, man, he stood up to the mayor, all these shutdowns and everything. He was one of the ones that actually stood up to him and told him, hey man, we're not doing all that crazy stuff. You know, we're gonna stay open.
You can believe what you want, but me, I make my stance. I call it the pandemic, and so you can vote either way on what you do. I don't get into politics, but I just know that we all deserve to live our life the way we want to, and all deserve to make a living. And and life's about each other. I don't know when you can run from anything.
I'll tell you this, man. I am proud to be an American.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I am proud to be an American where I can make my choices.
No doubt.
It's like,
no doubt.
Yeah.
Where I can make my choices.
Yeah. You've done well too. I mean, Mississippi has so much different genres of music that make people happy, not just country, but I read somewhere too, you had an influence growing up with that blues and kind of that soul music and just being around it and kind of just understanding that, I love growing up listening to just all those great singers, man. And I still, even today, jazz music is something I really enjoy outside of country. Big influence for you, right?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt, dude. I'll tell you right now, I've been listening to and have been for the last few years, a lot of Isley Brothers, a lot of Teddy Pendergrass, a lot of Bobby Womack, people like that. The Temptations, of course. But I love that kind of soul, that kind of just hurt, that that I love my woman and I'm going to let the world know it, in a 6-minute song,
Yeah. Now you're talking Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hey, is my dad on here? Boy, he loves some Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I remember one time, and this was some years ago, but we were in the bus and we were on the Lee Brice and Justin Moore tour, and my dad came with me to a few shows, but he came with me to one particular, and everybody went out to go eat or something. Everybody left, and it was just me and him on the bus. And so, being the old Pink Floyd head that he was and still is, we may have partaked in a little something and listened to a little Dark Side of the Moon, the whole album. And I mean, by the time that thing was maybe about halfway through, boy, we were just like, where the hell did everybody go?
On the lighter side of the dark side of the
moon. I never went to college, but I can imagine it's something like that.
And was trying to run it backwards. I know what was happening.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
I'm gonna go to the audience here real quick because I got a question from the audience here. So again, William Michael Morgan joining us here on the Backstage Pass. He's saying you're gonna be at Buckle and Boots next year.
Yeah, that's in the UK in Manchester. We've played pretty much every year that we can. I hope so. I'm sure we'll be talking to Carl and Gary and the whole Hancock family over there that runs it. I'm sure that we'll be talking to them. And if not this year, then I'm sure next year. And I know we're planning on coming to the UK. We've got some makeup dates that we're looking at doing that we were supposed to do, I believe, in the summertime this year. So hopefully next year we can make some of those up, tie it in with Buckles and Boots as well. If you guys have never been to Buckles and Boots, you two, or to the UK in general, CJ, this would be something that they would eat you up, man. They would absolutely, and you would love them. They're so genuine. They're listeners of music. They love country music. They are great people all around. I didn't meet one asshole while I was out there. I didn't.
I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of great people, and there's a lot of huge traditional country fans overseas.
Yeah,
I've been.
Yep.
Well, these dogs, they're going after each other back here.
We've done Spain and we've done Austria. I mean, Australia has been a huge market.
You did Austria, huh?
Yeah.
We did a little country right outside of Austria called Liechtenstein.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm probably mispronouncing that. I'm sorry, but man, that place was great.
It's just beautiful country too. I mean, I thought we had some beautiful country, and I came over there and I was like, man, this is heaven for a country boy.
No doubt.
Well, I tell you, whatever else is heaven too is a good glass of whiskey. We're going to take a time out for our sponsor out there, Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out, bangtail.com, or you can get the Easy Liquor app and get it delivered right to your front door too. You've tried it. You met with the guy at CRS. We were up there this year at Country Radio Seminar, so definitely good thanks to a good buddy Brandon Bing out there, and a good word in for Bangtail Whiskey. Coming back more with William Michael Morgan. Here it is, the Backstage Pass. We got rapid fire. We got sports talk. It's yours truly and CJ Garton. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. Hey, back here on the show again, it is the Backstage Pass. William Michael Morgan joining us here. We're talking music and then some with yours truly and CJ Garden. You can give us a follow out there on the Backstage Pass YouTube channel and, of course, all over socials, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're at, and the SportsGuysPodcast.com. If you missed it yesterday, we talked some Houston Texan football. I was excited about it. I was not giving up on a team from down here. The voice of the Texans, Mark Vandermeer, he came on with us yesterday. We got to talk some Texan football. So I'm going to dive right into rapid fire here, William, because we love having fun with this. CJ and I love fantasy football. We've been in it now for the past 2 years in the same league and just kicking ass and taking names and making trades and having fun with it. Are you a player in fantasy football?
I am not. I never was in a group that got into it. I feel like it's something that you don't just dive into by yourself. Mm-hmm. I was never in a group of people. I quit drinking, I think about 5.5 years ago. I think that's limited me on that because my hangouts, I'm not hanging out like at the sports bar or anything anymore like I would normally be, or a bar in general, really, like I would normally have been at that time. So I guess I just missed that. Now I am a football fan. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Okay, all right.
I'm America's team fan.
Hey, look, man. I when you said that, I wasn't trying to laugh. I'm gonna hold it back. See, I'm an Okie. I was born and raised. I was a 6th-generation rancher, and we did not follow the Cowboys because that was
Mississippi. We don't have a team.
That was a bandwagon thing. So we didn't have a team in Oklahoma. So I went with the Oilers.
You can't say that the Cowboys now are bandwagon fans because we wouldn't do that to ourselves.
No. But what I'm saying in Oklahoma,
we wouldn't do that to ourselves.
Jacket on that said Cowboys, you were a bandwagon fan because you were in Oklahoma and you had no business wearing all that Dallas Cowboys memorabilia.
No business, no reason.
So I took the Houston Oilers, and then that when I was a little bitty kid, and they got transferred over to Tennessee. Boy. So now I'm a Tennessee Titans fan because of the
Houston Oilers.
Yeah,
Houston Oilers.
Everybody
Houston Oilers #1. Go fight, kick. Come on.
But that's the gear I buy. I literally bought a hoodie that's the Houston Oilers hoodie throwback, right? And last week I took my 8-year-old son to his very first game when we put a whooping on the Colts last week or two, and he I don't know if y'all know this or not, but they have a after school special kind of thing where the kids get to go in and play on the field after the game's over. They have like mini peewee leagues. And so we're getting ready to get up and leave. My son's like, Dad, can we watch this game too? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we sit down, we watched a bunch of 7 or 8-year-olds in pads.
Oh, that's killer, man.
Dude, it was awesome.
Oh, that's killer.
It was awesome. And he's like, can I do this? And so we got the information.
That's what it's all about.
So he can actually get to join that league next year and stuff.
Oh, brother, I'm fist bump.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's
all right there.
That's good dadding right there.
Well, he left beating probably at least 20 people with one of those foam fingers that he had. I bought one of those, and there wasn't a person he didn't touch personally with that thing.
That's and I met CJ's kids when I was up there at CRS too. Definitely, hey, nothing better, William, than being a dad, right? I just got my daughter for the.
No, man, that's so true, man. I pick my daughter up every other week. It's like, it's amazing, man. It's the best. I try to spend a lot of time down at my mom and dad's too with her, because when I pick her up, I drive about 3.5 hours to pick her up, and about 3.5 hours back home. But it's where she is about halfway between my house and my parents' house,
right,
in Mississippi. So, depending on what we have that week or weekend, whatever, we'll decide whether to go down there or come back up here. Last time we brought her up here, we actually went to I just moved out in the country a little bit more from Nashville. I live about an hour and 15 minutes from Nashville, in a little town called Centerville. But
oh, dude,
we just took her. There's a little drive-in movie theater up here, and we took her there. I got a little old beat up S10, little old beat up S10 5-speed pickup truck, that I just picked up to kind of toot around a little bit. And so we laid some blankets down in that thing, boy, and some pillows, and ate a couple of hot dogs and popcorn and some Coke. Boy, we had a great time.
Are you talking about the Stardust over there in Watertown?
No, now Stardust is not far from me. It's a little further than this place. This is called, I think, the Pink Cadillac.
Oh, I haven't been to that one. I got a buddy who lives in Downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, Pooh Ball hung out with Willie and the boys and everything. I go out there and ginseng hunt, and geodes out in his river. He's got the best damn geode river I've ever seen. We leave with 2 5-gallon buckets full of geodes like this, man.
Wow. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to go sometime.
Well, yeah, I'll give you a hot shout, man. We'll catch up after this. Maybe you want to bring your little one. I don't know how old your younger one is, but
She's 6.
Oh yeah, mine's 8. They'd have a ball, dude.
Oh, they'd have a good time.
Oh, yeah. Down that river, crack them suckers open. Because I found some that are purple and red.
See, I've been wanting to float this Duck River too a little bit around my house. It's literally just right there. I mean, I could walk to the damn.
Yeah, that's where I go to trout fish.
To a load in, but I could walk to the river.
Yeah, trout fish. I go out there to the dam out there by Centerville, and my trout fish that break out a little bit of comedy, and we're gone.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, I need you see my cap here, so definitely staying with the Houston theme of things out there. It's the only baseball team I root for, William. So it's the Astros, Phillies, game 3 tonight, game 3, 4, 5 in Philadelphia. I don't know, man. I just feel like it's got to go the Astros' way. Of course, the Phillies are a good ball club. What's your prediction the rest of the series?
I mean, talk about the two teams. I mean, gosh dang. I was just listening to Bill Burr talk about this. I'm a Bill Burr fan.
Bill Burr.
And if you know Bill Burr, he doesn't really like Philadelphia.
Yeah, you can't even repeat some of the things that man said.
No, I try not to. But man, I'm an Astros fan. I mean, I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I'm an Astros fan. I'm going to say Astros just because I like them.
Okay. All right. I like that, which is good because critical game 3 and they play all the games up until Sunday of this week. I still think it's going to go 6 or 7. So it's coming back to Houston. So if they just win one of these next 3, it's coming back to Houston there where they've actually had pretty good success on their home field, except for a World Series. All right. I got to get this. When you have a craving out there, what's a William Michael Morgan favorite food and favorite drink?
Oh gosh, man. I've done got to where I do not like Taco Bell, but I love the Baja Blast. The Baja Blast is great.
It is good.
Either the icy or the drink, either one.
No, I'm saying my kids like the Mountain Dew one.
Yeah, that's the Baja Blast.
Yeah. They have a red one when they're frozen up and you can't get the other one. They're like, no, I don't want that one. I'm good.
See, I'll pull into Taco Bell just to get that.
Yeah, and I call it Taco Hell.
I hate Taco Hell too.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I grew up.
I tell you, I like my favorite food. I mean, man, I like pizza. I mean,
there you go.
I don't necessarily like me, but I love pizza.
You have another kid. We'll fix that.
Yeah.
I got 2 boys, and they order so much pizza. I bought a pizza oven. I have an outdoor.
We got a pizza oven now too. Yeah.
Wood burning pizza oven. You just throw some wood in there and go to town. We get some wild fresh shiitakes out there, some prosciutto. Throw that sucker on, some smoky.
You know, I say that, and my mind's still in the single guy mode. But I'm fixing to get married. My gal, she cooks a lot more than we eat out nowadays. So she does this deal that's it's a stir fry. It's kind of hibachi almost.
Ooh.
Buddy. I mean,
good stuff, huh? Yeah.
Oh man, and we just got this Blackstone grill over here. We're gonna try it out. I've been doing some steaks and burgers and stuff on it, but I'm ready to get some veggies on that thing.
Yeah, The veggies too. All right, I love this one too because this might take some thought. Then again, it may not. The title of the first song that was ever written by William Michael Morgan, or if you don't know the title, what was the song about?
I remember very specifically. It was called Mother Load. And Mother Load. And it was about the load that a mom has. I wrote it with my friend who was older, who really, wrote the song. Honestly, let's be honest. I mean, I was probably 12 or 13 at the time, but I saw my mom working all the time. I mean, working a full job and doing the housework and doing, just doing it like a Southern woman does, I mean, and never complaining one bit, complaining actually that she didn't have more stuff to do. I would bet you at that time. But I don't know, man. What was the main question? I'm rambling on.
No,
now.
That's you answered it right there too, brother. And like I said, I love the fact that we can ramble on. And I tell you this, brother, when we get to Nashville, CJ's going to be a part of this with us. We're coming there for CRS 2023, March 13, 14, and 15 there at the Omni Hotel, brother. If you'd be so kind, if you're in town for those 3 days, if you know you are, come out, hang out with us. CJ's going to be co-hosting, hosting some shows for my brand, the Backstage Pass. So definitely feel free to come hang out with us.
We're always doing something out there. We're always doing something out there for CRS. So I'm sure we'll see you around, man. And we'll exchange some numbers afterwards or whatever. And
absolutely.
And when you guys come into town, whether it's for that, something else, just to hit Broadway or to write something, whatever, let me know, man. I'd love to see you guys.
It'd be fun to do it, brother. And like I said, congratulations on the new single out there, guys. Go get it for the holiday season, Home at Christmas. And also check out WilliamMichaelMorgan.com while you guys are out there as we prepare to close the year here for 2022 and ring in 2023. Some more exciting things coming out of his camp over the next few months. William, appreciate the time, my friend. We'll catch up after the show and definitely, as always, continued success going forward, no doubt.
Thank you, brother, for having me. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, Brandon. We appreciate it, man. Y'all keep doing what you do, making people smile.
We'll try to keep doing it. Tomorrow, it's back-to-back Morgan days. William Michael Morgan today, the legend. Lori Morgan coming up tomorrow here on the show. And, of course, another great legend in the business on Friday. David Frizzell is going to drop by here on the Backstage Pass. Looking forward to that conversation here, too, as well. Noah Thompson and a whole lot more. Kimberly Kelly over the next few weeks and a whole lot more here on the Backstage Pass. Keep it tight. Keep it hang. Check out the sportsguyspodcast.com and go give William a follow on social media. We'll see you guys tomorrow about 4:30. Lori Morgan here on the program. Until then,